Hey guys, it's Martin Cliffe here. Welcome to another video, and one where, surprisingly for a Thursday video, I don't actually have a guitar in my hands at the moment. But if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, and let's face it, why aren't you following me if you're not? Then you may notice that a couple of posts recently have made it appear that I am selling a load of gear. And I just wanted to kind of explain a little bit of my thoughts behind this. I am not actively selling lots of gear in the sense of I'm not selling anything that I currently use. I'm just wanting to clear a bit of surplus for a couple of reasons. Now the thing about gear and gear acquisition, even gear acquisition syndrome really, is that our tastes change over time. So maybe, I've got something that I used for 2, 3, 4 years, but then I've moved on from something because I discovered something better, or something at least that more suited the sound I hear in my head, I guess. So let's take the Sir Sheba drive. Now the Sir Sheba drive has been a huge part of my tone. I got my first one in 2013, and yeah, I really like the sound of my playing with that pedal. But it's got to a point where, I have 4 of them, because I had 2 on my main board because I was doing the stacked Tube Screamer style pedals into a compressor. And then I had 1 on my board that I had at school for when I was teaching and playing with the bands there. And I had 1 on my board at church. Now, I don't need 4 anymore. So I'm looking to sell a couple of them. I'm still going to keep a couple because I like the sound of the pedal. Also, my main overdrive sound has been replaced by the Mad Professor Royal Blue Overdrive, which, as my tastes have changed, as I'm using a different amp, because back then I was using Ignator tweakers and then I moved across to the Black Star platforms, I just find that the combination of my slight change in taste perhaps, and also the change in amp, has suited the Royal Blue Overdrive better than the Sheba drive for me personally. That doesn't mean the Sheba drive is any less of a great overdrive pedal, it just means that I don't now therefore have the need of 4 of them. And so there's a whole load as well. I went down a path of experimenting with lots of bass pedals, lots of bass effects for playing bass, and then as I got, so for recording, as I got the Tech 21 preamp, and for live, as I got the Mark bass rig, I realised that I didn't need as many effects because I was more happy with my core tone of just bass. And of course the bass has changed and improved. Yeah, the Yamaha basses to TRBs sounded great, but the mic lulls sound a whole cut above. And with the different amps as well, I just don't need as many pedals. So I'm clearing out some of my bass pedals. So yeah, I'm posting a picture where I'm selling 30, 40 pedals, and it seems like a lot. It seems like I'm clearing out a vast part of my collection, but really I'm just clearing out the pedals that I don't use, either pedals that I bought for a specific thing and then didn't fall in love with, or just pedals that I've moved on from over time, or they're duplicates. There are certain pedals that I've had multiples of from when I've needed multiple boards, and now I don't need multiple boards in the same way because my life situation has changed. So I just don't need that surplus. Pedal boards themselves as well. I was using pedal train pedal boards for everything, and now I'm moved across to mono boards. So therefore I'm clearing out some of my pedal train boards, and with the Voodoo Labs power supplies again, because it's just not something that I'm using anymore. I have transitioned, upgraded if you will, over time. So it's just surplus stuff. Now, why am I doing this other than just having too much gear? Is partly because as we're preparing to move, the less stuff that I have to ship, the better. It doesn't, 1 or 2 pedals is not going to make a lot of difference, but 30 or 40 pedals might. Also, moving incurs significant costs, so any money I can recoup, particularly now I'm not working, well, not been paid work for the next few months is definitely going to help along that way. But then, it's just a case of just trying to reduce a bit of stuff. Also, I've listed a couple of basses and a guitar, one of my Les Pauls and my 2 Fender basses for sale. Why those ones? Well, they're the ones that I just don't play. Don't get me wrong, I love a Gibson Les Paul. I love my main Gibson Les Paul. I just don't need a second one. I thought it would become more a part of me over time, which is why I bought the second one. I bought it as a backup. And then it's come to a point where I've just realised that actually, I don't like it as a live guitar. I really enjoy playing it at home. But I've got no interest in using it as a live guitar, so I don't need a backup. Now, if they don't sell, it's not the end of the world. But again, it's less stuff to ship because a guitar is a significant thing to ship, and certainly 3 or 4 are. I have other guitars that I need to sell that are in the UK. This isn't part of a crazy minimalist downsizing thing, although there is part of me that would like to do that as well. But it's also just just clearing out excess. I have, let's say, several guitars in the UK, I want to say 6 or 7, that will either be sold or given, in a couple of cases, away to people. Again, just because they are surplus to current requirements. Because over time you get something, and then you get something better, so the previous thing just isn't needed anymore. This is the kind of thing that many guitarists go through, many musicians go through. As I say, I played my main Yamaha TRB4 for 18 years, and it was a wonderful bass, and it served me well. But then I got something that blew it out of the water, and all of a sudden I didn't need it. So I had a friend who really wanted it, offered me a good price, so we made a deal. But that also means then that the other Yamaha TRBs that I have, I don't need anymore, so they're going to be moved on. And this kind of thing is I'm not a collector. It may look like it from Guitar Collection or My Guitar videos, but I'm not a collector. I only have what I want to use. Could I reduce my guitar collection significantly? Yes. Realistically, I'm going to reduce it by about a third over the next year, but at the same time, I'm not stopping by for the sake of stopping by. In fact, I have a fretless bass on order. I have a my little M5 fretless that I've put the deposit down for, and hopefully will be coming in the next few months. That again is another reason why I'm clearing some stock to cover the costs of that, but also just because I want to make room for that in my collection. I don't need 11 bass guitars. I don't need, what have I got, 7, 8 acoustic guitars, because I play 3, maybe 4. I'll probably keep the 4th. It's just stuff that all I'm trying to do is reduce some excess. The same with amps. So I sold a Agnator head and cab. I have another cab for sale, and I'll probably look to sell the 2 Agnator combos as well, rather than the other heads and cabs, because the heads and cabs have more sentimental value to me. The combos are just utility pieces. They were convenient to have, but they're a little bit newer, so they're a little bit better condition, so I might get more money for them. And also they're just things that I just don't need 6 Agnator rigs, or whatever it was, 5 maybe. So I'm just looking to reduce to a more sensible number of amps and pedals and guitars. There's no crisis, no kind of major thing going on. Just keep what you need, but And the other thing is, I think as well as important, is when you find what you love as a musician and you embrace that, then other things become less important. And for me, yeah, there have been stages along my process where I have embraced certain things for a time. Ibanez JS 100s, I had many of, I now have one. Yamaha TLBs, again, I think I've had up to 5, maybe 6 at one point. I think only 5, but yeah, it's just again something I have moved on from. Fender Telecasters, I need to sell 2 out of the 3 that I own. I did sell 3 out of the 4 Strats I owned. So yeah, don't panic, but if you are interested in it, the problem at the moment is that shipping is such a pain, because certainly in Hong Kong, most countries we can only send stuff surface mail to. So I'm pretty much restricted to what I can sell in Hong Kong, which I won't get the best price. So I'm in no rush. If stuff doesn't sell here, I'll sell it when I move. But yeah, that's why stuff is appearing on Instagram, perhaps uncharacteristically for me. So I'd like to know your thoughts, really. Have you been in any of these situations? I apologise, this is just a long talking head video. More guitar content will reappear next week. But yeah, it's just decisions that need to be made sometimes, and I'm not going to want to be the kind of person that has 60 pedals in a drawer. How about you? What are your thoughts? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Take care. I'll see you soon.